Hey, what's up, guys? This is Ben here, and it's been a while since I filmed a video on this channel. But I am here in Sofia, Bulgaria, chilling in my apartment right now, and I was just doing some meditating, and I really became enlightened to something that I've kind of been pondering over the last few years, and it just kind of all snapped together for me in this time that I was meditating. And that's how social anxiety is really totally related to sexual repression. And I came to this discovery because I've noticed over my whole life, ever since I really started becoming socially anxious, it was the time I really entered my teens and I started going through puberty. And around that time, I really never allowed my sexuality to blossom in a normal and effortless function. I grew up in a religious home, and from the time I was 5, really, I can remember going to church and always just recall growing up in a sexually repressed household. And my parents were super religious, and of course, me being a little kid, I also grew up in that environment, so I got a full dose of that exposure, and it really stunted me in a sexual manner. In my teens, I got addicted to video games, and I isolated myself. That's another cause for my social anxiety. I never really learned social skills, but ultimately, my sexuality never blossomed, and I never had a girlfriend or anything like that all throughout my teenage years. It wasn't until the age of 24 that I had sex for the first time, and even that experience, while it was liberating in a way, it still didn't really do the trick for me as far as unlocking my sexuality goes. I was still very sexually repressed, and even to this day, I still have fragments of that left, and I'm still working out my issues to this day, and that'll be a continual work in progress as I try to understand my situation and learn why and learn how to overcome that sexual repression. But yeah, throughout my teenage years, I was addicted to video games. I never had a girlfriend. I really didn't have many friends, and I can all pinpoint it to the fact that my sexuality never blossomed ever since I hit puberty as a kid, or as like a 12 to 13-year-old. I started my biology kicked into gear, and I started feeling those sexual feelings, but I never had an outlet to express them. And I learned growing up that expressing my sexuality was something wrong and bad, that to be sexual and to show your sexuality was a taboo. That's what I learned in church. That's what I learned from my parents. And it really played a huge role in just my teenage years and into my early 20s and even up to now. I've just always been a socially anxious person, and I've had a tough time interacting with people. I was able to overcome some of that when I got a job waiting tables. I was able to expose myself to people, and I was able to overcome a lot of that social anxiety through that experience. But man, even after 5 years of waiting tables, I was still highly sexually repressed. Even though I could communicate with people, I never felt at ease, fully at ease in my body. And that's because I was still clamping down on my sexuality as a man. And I forgot to add, in my teenage years, I was also extremely nice. If you've ever read the book No More Mr. Nice Guy by Robert Glover, he talks in that book about nice guys and how it's really not nice to be nice. It's just a pattern that guys pick up to get what they want in their life. And it's just a very destructive personality trait men pick up as they repress their sexuality, and they really just hide it just because of religion and all that, with sex being a taboo. And so I was a nice guy growing up all throughout my teenage years. I can remember doing all kinds of nice guy stuff, and of course I still do some of that stuff to this day, and I'm trying to be conscious of my behavior and change that. But really, at the root of it, it's just repressed sexuality. That's what I've discovered, and that's what I really believe. That all social anxiety, all nice guy behaviors, just a lot of problems men deal with, and which I've dealt with, is because I have not been comfortable expressing myself sexually. When sex comes up in topics with just friends or people, I always feel insecure because I've really missed out, and I've never had a lot of those sexual experiences, and I don't feel as sexually liberated as the people who are talking about it to me. So of course that makes me feel insecure. And yeah, I've just been hiding my sexuality as a man, and I learned that the path for me is to become sexually free. That is my path to being more integrated and at ease within myself. It's all about releasing the blockages in your body that you clamp down and hide your sexuality with. So what I mean by that is, I've noticed that tension and stress, those are the physical manifestations of being a sexually repressed person. So if you have social anxiety or you've dealt with it, then you probably noticed that also in your body, that social anxiety is accompanied by tension in your body. So you clamp down in your body and you hunch your shoulders, you brace your stomach, you clamp down on your jaw, your perineum tightens up, and those are just all ways of hiding your sexuality and clamping down on it and not expressing it. And that's what I've done for so many years. I've just noticed that tension is always present whenever I feel anxious. That I use the tension as a way to hide my feelings and hide my sexuality, because I've had all this brainwashing about how sexuality is bad and you can't be a sexual man and you can't show your sexuality to people. And that's my way of doing that, is through tension in my body. I create all these energy blocks within myself, and I prevent that sexuality from coming out, and that just only amplifies the problems that I feel inside, and I just feel even worse about myself. So that's really been my journey over the last couple of years. I've really discovered how tension in the body is something that just amplifies your anxiety, and it hides your sexuality. If you've ever meditated or you've ever researched into meditation, then you'll know that focusing on your breath is a huge part of meditating. A lot of people who are into meditation and just a lot of the old spiritual stuff, I guess, like going back to Buddha and Buddhism and all that, meditating, focusing on your breath. The reason they say to focus on your breath, from what I've discovered, is that when you just fully relax into your body and you release the tension and you breathe and you feel your sexual essence, you feel your energy, you breathe deep into your belly and down into your pelvis, and you just really feel that sexual energy. You feel sexual. That's really when you feel completely secure and at ease in your body. When you have no tension and you're just fully relaxed and breathing. And that's when everything becomes effortless. You don't have to think of what to say. You can just be spontaneous, and you can be confident and secure in yourself when you are just fully relaxed and at ease inside yourself. right now, as I speak to you guys, I'm just doing that. I'm breathing into my belly, and I'm just acting from a place of that sexual essence within myself. And it just allows me to speak the right words and maintain composure and stay in my body. All because I'm just breathing, and I'm putting my attention and my feeling in my belly and my pelvis. And just speaking into this camera right now and talking to you guys is effortless. And I've also noticed that as I travel and I see women just on the street and in different situations, that when I really feel into my sexuality, I become a different person, and I just project something off of me. Maintaining eye contact with girls, with cute girls I see on the street, and just people I talk to just in my everyday life, cashiers, everyone I talk to, when I really feel in my sexuality and I project that out of myself, the world takes on a whole new meaning, and I'm just able to flow and be at ease within myself. And that really affects the people I talk to and just everything I do in my life. Everything is more effortless when I'm breathing and just maintaining a harmony within myself. And man, life is just so much more enjoyable when I'm relaxed and I'm not worrying about what other people think. I'm just in my body, feeling good, allowing my sexuality to fully express itself. And really, everything takes care of itself after that. Nothing is a big deal. It's just, I just effortlessly function in my life. And this is a state that I've really been working on maintaining just all the time, really. I've really come to understand how important meditation is for just being in the moment and being present and being sexual. And when I do all of that, then social anxiety is like not even an issue. It's the farthest thing from my mind, feeling anxious. And so back to meditation. What I've been doing lately is, for around the past week, I have started making a meditation practice every morning first thing. When I wake up, I go brush my teeth, hit the bathroom, and then I return to my bed, and what I do is I sit up on a pillow for 30 minutes, and I just meditate. I focus on my breath. I focus on my sensations in my body, and that has been so powerful and life-changing, just that practice itself. 30 minutes may seem like a long time, but really, once you just get into your body and you're just focusing on your breath, and you feel good inside yourself, and you feel your sexual essence, that 30 minutes passes by just like that. And what's more, I found that those 30 minutes spent in the morning really profoundly affect the rest of my day. When I meditate, and meditation, what it does for me is it sets the tone for my day. It's a vital part of my morning routine, where when I meditate, the rest of the day just becomes effortless. It's almost as if that 30 minutes of meditation puts me in that state. You can just imagine a train on a train track. When I meditate for those 30 minutes, essentially what that does is it puts me on a train track. I'm like a train on a train track, and it just sets me into the grooves, and I'm just allowed to effortlessly stay on that track throughout the rest of the day. That's probably not the best analogy, but it just feels like when I meditate first thing, that it really just sets a tone for the rest of my day, and I'm allowed to just stay in that groove effortlessly. So I've been doing that. That's now a part of my every morning routine. I wake up, like I said, go to the bathroom, I return, I sit on my bed, sit on a pillow, and I set the timer for 30 minutes. I just focus on my breath, my feelings, and my sexuality, and man, that has made all the difference for me. And then just one other thing I've been doing also is meditating in public, doing that same thing. I don't necessarily sit in the lotus position and just call this attention to myself in public places like parks or whatever. But I just sit there on the bench and I just stare at one object and I just focus on my breath for 10, 20, however many minutes I feel like. And that's also great because different thoughts will surface and come up during that time when people are around me and I have all this stimulation, people walking by. Thoughts will pop into my mind like, oh, what if they think I'm weird? What if they're judging me? Those thoughts will pop up and I'll just let them pop up and pass by. And it's great because you just become so comfortable. It's just such a great practice for overcoming your social anxiety, because when you meditate in that environment where you're around people, it really helps you settle into your body and become at ease in those situations. So that's basically what I've done, and those are the two biggest things that have made the biggest impact in my life so far is meditation. Just meditation first thing every morning, and then meditating also in public has been a huge help to me. And just focusing on focusing on my breath and feeling my sexuality. And just walking through the world within that frame of mind, where just in my everyday occurrences, when I'm talking to people, when I'm walking on the street, when I'm making phone calls, when I'm just interacting with people in general, just focusing on the region of my belly, my breath, and my sexual essence, and just letting all the tension be released in my body when I'm around people. And that just, I just can't even describe how amazing it feels to just be fully relaxed and at ease inside myself when talking to people. Just because I grew up so socially anxious, and it just really traumatized me during my whole life, pretty much. And to be freer and to just open myself up more is really what's allowed me to overcome that social anxiety and just be more free inside myself. And there's no price you can put on that. I know how painful it is to just be in that state of anxious tension where everything is so difficult and you overthink every situation when you're talking to people, and it's just miserable. And finally, I have some peace of mind, which is just, it's blissful. Having that contrast from being socially anxious to now just more relaxed and at ease inside myself. And that has made all the difference in my life. And hopefully you can also find that place of peace of mind if you're socially anxious. And I really believe it all starts with your sexual essence and that energy, and just becoming more sexually free. And of course, body work can help. Getting massages can help. Using self-massaging techniques will help. You can get, for example, a tennis ball or a lacrosse ball, and you can do different self-massaging techniques where you feel tension in your body. That helps. And even just having sex, more sex, and opening yourself up to relationships with the opposite sex, that is also huge. And that's something that I'm focusing on right now during my travels. I think having more sex and becoming more sexually liberated is what will ultimately put my life where I want it to be, just completely relaxed, at ease in my body all the time throughout the day, and just to be in that place of effortless functioning in everything I do. So that's what my focus is, and that's my journey over the next couple years, is meeting women, developing relationships, and becoming more sexually free inside myself. And I really think that's a journey for anyone who is sexually repressed. anyone who grew up in a sexually repressed environment or society where sex is a taboo, you've got to work through those demons, or you're always going to have some form of resistance in your life, and you're not going to live the life you want to live if you're sexually repressed. You won't be able to express yourself the way you want to express yourself, and you just won't be able to be the person you want to be. So that's my journey, and perhaps it's your journey too. If you guys have any questions, definitely put it down in the comments below, and I might be releasing more videos here soon, but we'll see. This is my first video in a few months, so I'm not sure if I'm going to keep making videos, but I probably will. And I will also be writing on my blog, which can be found at instinctualintrovert.com. And yeah, I wish you guys the best of luck on your journeys, and hopefully this video helped you out. I will talk to you soon. Peace out.